Yeah.
All right, Shalom. So I want to start off giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers to the four corners of the earth, preaching this word and also laboring in this word in true love and sincerity. And Shalom to you sincere listeners. Shalom. Now we're just going to do a quick lesson on dealing with the 400 years in the books of Acts, the 7th chapter, and also in the book of Genesis. Because contrary to popular belief, you have this false doctrine being taught out there that the 400 years spoken about in Acts, the 7th chapter, and also Genesis, the 15th chapter, is America, which those chapters are speaking about when we were in ancient Egypt, in captivity under the Egyptians. Okay, that's what that is speaking of. That has nothing to do with America. All right, so let's go to the account with Stephen, brother.
So this is the book of Acts, chapter 7, starting at verse 1?
Yep.
In verse 1. Switch over. Then said the high priest, "Are these things so?" And he said, "Men, brethren, and fathers, hearken. The power of glory appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Charan, or Haran,
Yep.
and said unto him, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred, and come into the land which I shall show thee."
Yep.
Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans and dwelt in Haran, and from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into this land wherein ye now dwell. And he gave him none inheritance in it, no, not so much as to set his foot on. Yet he promised him that he would give it to him for a possession, and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child.
Yep.
And the Most High spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage, and entreat them evil 400 years.
Yeah, so this place that it's talking about for us to be in bondage 400 years is talking about ancient Egypt. Okay, now we can go to the book of Genesis, the 15th chapter as well.
All right, the book of Genesis,
15:13.
Chapter 15, verse 13.
You can, yeah, you can go to that.
And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs,
Yep.
and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge.
Now, when you go back to the nations that who we were serving and who the Lord said he will judge was the Egyptians. That's why he put the 10 plagues on the Egyptians. Okay, that's how they was judged. They were judged by the 10 plagues.
Let's see here.
And afterwards,
I shall judge them. And also that is it right here?
Mm-hmm.
Also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substance.
All right, so get the precept. What's it? Exodus 1.
It was Exodus 12.
Right there. Because when we left ancient Egypt, we borrowed from the Egyptians. We spoiled them. Okay. Now, when we leave America, Babylon the Great, which we do know is spiritual Egypt, we're not taking anything with us.
No.
Okay. Our bodies are going to be changed in a twinkling of an eye. Okay. To new bodies, for the elect. But we're not taking nothing with us. No cars, no jewelry, nothing. Okay. Mm-hmm. The substance that was took from the Egyptians, the brother's about to read.
All right. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll read what was taken from the Egyptians, and then I'll get that precept, because I really want the back to bro up. My computer trying to freeze on me. Come on now.
Sorry.
Oh, dang, almost closed on me. Because, I just wanted the back to bro up real quick, because like you said, we're not taking nothing, right? All right. Luke 17, and I'll start at 29. Which is just to avoid reading the whole thing. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. And that day he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, likewise let him not return back. You ain't taking nothing. You see? Now, when the elect are taken, we don't know exactly how it's gonna happen, but we ain't trying to gather nothing from these people and then go into the chariots. We're gonna get caught up, and then the destruction gonna come, man.
It should be changed in the twinkling of
an eye. In the twinkling
of
the eye, like the brother said, man. We ain't taking nothing. Just back them up. Now let's get this precept. Exodus 12 and 35.
And even though that happened back then during times when Jerusalem was besieged, it's going to happen the same way. Right. You know, you're not going to be able to go to your house and go get anything, man.
Nope.
You know, when it's time to go, it's going to be time to go.
Yep. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed the Egyptians' jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment.
Yep. So that's how when we left Egypt, ancient Egypt, we left with great substance. Oh, there's another one, right?
And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians.
There you go. So that's how we left Egypt with the great substance.
Right.
All right. We're not leaving nothing. We're not leaving with nothing here in America.
Nope. All right. So we want to move to the next one.
Okay. So we was at before you got that, we was at. Oh no, you can go jump to verse 40. Exodus 12.
All right, Exodus 12 and 40. Put that up. Book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years.
Okay, now pause. This is where people get confused at, okay? Because when they see 400 years, they say, oh, the Lord's talking about 400 years. So it got to be 1619 and 2019. Because now they're going back off of, you know, when the bulk of Jake came over here, mainly the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? When they came to Jamestown, Virginia, 1619. So they say, well, 2019, we're going to be delivered out of here, you know? But that 400-year prophecy, or that 400 years that you're getting mistaken of, is talking about ancient Egypt when we was in captivity there, not America. All right? Can you read that part again, bro?
Exodus 12 and 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years.
Okay, now get Exodus, the first chapter. Because we're going to show you that those 30 years, that's when Joseph was there. Okay? That's when we multiplied and everything, and things was good for us. We wasn't getting afflicted at that time. Joseph became second in command under the Pharaoh. He interpreted the dreams for that Pharaoh, the 7 years plenteousness and the 7 years of famine. So that's how he was able to get favor from that Pharaoh for ultimately to preserve Israel.
Yep.
Okay, all the people of the lands had to come and get corn from where? Egypt.
Yep.
Okay, and at that time, you know, those 30 years we was doing good until Joseph passed away. I was going to say that.
Yeah, Exodus 1 and 1, right?
Yeah.
5.
You start at 5.
And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. For Joseph was in Egypt already.
That's right. Joseph was already there. Remember, he was sold into slavery by his brothers.
God.
So, so he was already there and established.
And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty. And the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
New king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Okay, so what do you think took place then? He didn't show favor to Joseph like the Pharaoh that knew him before, like the Pharaoh that knew Joseph before. And watch what took place after that.
Verse 9, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
Yeah, so the more hell they put on us, the more we grew. We grew, right? You know, and what do Jake say in the world? We don't die, we multiply.
All right, verse 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them to serve was with rigor.
Right. So then they start making us build up their cities again. Okay, so that's what took place, and now you're starting to see the 400 years of captivity, which we were now starting to serve after what? After Joseph died and the Pharaoh died. Then what? The new king arose and then start putting hell on us. So that is the distorting period of the 400 years of captivity.
And it said right here that Joseph died and all his brethren and all that generation. So they had time to sit there and flourish. And there was a time period when they was in this strange land that they was cool.
Those 30 years.
Okay.
What y'all seem to keep getting confused with, because when y'all see 430 years, y'all say, oh, well, the Lord said 430, but you got to go back into the history and understand that those 30 years, that time period, like the brother said, we was cool.
Right.
Okay? We wasn't being harshly dealt with.
Right.
At that time.
Verse 6, and Joseph died and all his brethren and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled up with them. So this was that time period where they was growing and they was getting bigger.
That's
and
right,
then they went into affliction by the new Pharaoh, because he was like, who is all these people, man?
Right, yeah. Reverse 8 again for him, brother.
And there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Yep.
So that was that point where he was like, no, we can't do this no more. And then from that point on, we start being afflicted and being made to serve bondage, man.
That's right, bro.
So that 30-year time period was of peace and increase for the children of Israel, man.
Right.
And then there was 400 years of bondage.
All
right, go ahead, bro.
Did you get Did we do Genesis 15 yet?
Let me see. I know I got it pulled up.
Genesis 15 and 13. Did we read it yet?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, we did. They shall come out with great substance.
Okay. All right. I think we did already then.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we could read it again if we want to.
Go to Did we read Genesis 17?
See here.
I believe you went to it already.
Make a great nation. I'm not sure because I'm not right on it. So what did we want in 17?
8 and 8, yeah.
Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. 17 and 8, yeah. Now I still got it highlighted.
Okay.
All right, Genesis 17, verse 8. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. You want me to start going to it?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so like it says right here, he's talking to Abram, because his name at this time, well, it says Abraham right there. But in verse 8, it says, I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger. So what land was he a stranger in? It tells you right after, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. So, matter of fact, I think we wanted to read Acts before we got to that, because it said they will serve me in this place.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Go back to Genesis 15. We gotta make a point right here.
Okay, Genesis 15.
Yep, start at 15.
And 15. Genesis 15, verse 15. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full.
You see, the iniquity of the Amorites are not yet full. And who are the Amorites? Genesis 10 and 16.
Okay, Genesis 10. Book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 16.
Yep.
And the Jebusite and the Amorite and the Girgasite.
Well, you can start a little bit at the top so we can get who they come from.
And the sons of Ham, Cush and Mitzrayim, and Put and Canaan.
Yep.
And the sons of Cush, Seba and Havilah, and Sapta and Ramah, and Sabekta, and the sons of Ramah, Sheba and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. All right.
You can jump to 13.
Jump down. And 13?
Yeah.
Okay. And 13, and Mizraim begat Ludum and Anamim and Lahabim and Naphtuhim and Pathrusim and Calsuhim, out of whom came Philistim, or the Philistines, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite.
There you go. Those are all Canaanites.
Canaanites, right?
Those are all Canaanites. So you can't say that's the 400 years dealing with America, because we're reading in the same chapter. We're reading Genesis 15. Okay? Because it says, but in fourth generation, like the brother said, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. Okay? So their time wasn't over. They still was controlling the land.
Right.
You know, before we eventually got that whole land of Canaan, man.
Right.
Okay? You could just look up a map and see, you know, where all the Canaanites dwelt.
Right.
That's why it was called the land of Canaan. But their iniquity wasn't full yet.
Right. And then you can further look into the Amorites and when we took them down in the book of Joshua. It gives that account. So we want to keep going.
Okay. So we can
yeah, because the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. So now we're going to jump to Acts.
Yeah, we'll go back to Acts 7. Yep.
Okay, Acts 7. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'll just start at you want me to start at?
You start at 8 if you want. Or 7.
Yeah, okay, we'll start at 7. And the nation to whom
you start at 6.
Okay, and the Most High spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them evil 400 years.
Yeah, so now you know that land that was spoken of is Egypt, man, ancient Egypt. Okay, this is the account that Stephen is going over to his people.
And the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, said the Most High, and after that they shall come forth and serve me in this place. So you have to ask yourself the question, what is this place? You know, now it started to go into it at the top. He came out of the land of Chaldeans and dwelt in Haran, and from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into this land wherein now ye dwell. So what is this land? You see, verse 5, and he gave him none inheritance in it, no, not so much as to set his foot on, yet he promised him that he would give it to him for a possession, and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child. So now we got to ask ourselves, what is this land?
What is Abraham being promised?
Right. So now we go to Genesis 17 and 8, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan.
That's right.
For an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. So when it says in Acts 7 and verse 7, and the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, which was the Egyptians. He judged them, said the Most High, and after that they shall come forth and serve me in this place. So they're going to come out of the land of Egypt and serve me here where I'm talking to you at.
That's right.
Which was the land of Canaan.
That's right, brother.
And we can prove that they was dwelling in the land of Canaan, but just a couple of precepts. Genesis 12, we can start at verse 1. That's cool. Starting.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah.
And now the Lord said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee and curse them that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. So we're getting to the point now. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. So the Canaanites was in their land. Verse 7, and the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. See? So that's the land that they was in, you know. And we could just just take it further. Genesis 37 and 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was called a stranger, in the land of Canaan. And Isaac was also in the land of Canaan. Let's see. Did I pull that one?
He said he was a stranger. Yeah.
Where he was a stranger, right? All right, and let's see here. I believe this is
17 and 8.
This is we already read that. Mm-hmm. 17 and 8. And this was during the time of Joseph, when he was talking to Pharaoh. This is after Jacob died, and he was like, "Let me go back into Canaan to bury my fathers." I'll just read it. Genesis 50 and 5. Mm-hmm. My father made me swear, lo, I die. Made me swear, saying, lo, I die in my grave which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan. Thou shalt bury me. Now therefore let me go up, I pray thee, and bury my father, and I will come again. So we just traced it all the way through the different generations that they was in the land of Canaan. You see? And Jacob dwelt in the land of Canaan, where his father, who was Isaac, was a stranger. See? In the land of Canaan. So that was one of the places where they was a stranger. The other place they was a stranger was the place where they served hard bondage. And the place they were promised to receive was the land of Canaan.
The land of Canaan, right. Yep.
So you got some more?
Yep, Acts 7, brother.
Okay.
We can start at 8. Or you can read 7 again, because you know.
Okay. Acts 7 and 7. In the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, the Egyptians, and said the Most High. And after that they shall come forth, meaning they ain't going to be in that land, and serve me in this place, which we just established was the land of Canaan.
That's right, which name got later changed to the land of Israel.
The Israel, right.
Okay, because we took down the Canaan. We pushed all of them out of there.
God. All right, verse 8. And he gave him the covenant of circumcision. And so Abraham begat Isaac and circumcised him the 8th day. And Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat the 12 patriarchs.
Yeah, and that's how you get the 12 tribes today, okay? Which consists of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native and Seminole Indians, all right? And also you confusion of face Israelites out there whose seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Also notice how I don't say that they moved nowhere. They were still in the land of Canaan, man. Anyway, so Lucky. Go to verse 9 now.
Go ahead. Right, because now Stephen is going back into their history.
9. And the patriarchs moved with envy, sold Joseph into Egypt.
That's how he got there.
But the Most High was with him and delivered him out of all his afflictions.
And let's make this point here. Only reason why these certain nations became great is only because the Israelites. Okay. How Egypt became great as it was because Joseph.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you had Moses. That was great in Egypt as well. What they said, Moses he was high in wisdom and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Moses was basically likened to the he was brought into he was like a prince there, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, he had to give up all that great substance. You know, he chose to give up all that great substance and be on the same level as his people, man.
You know, but I'm just making a point that when the Israelites are there, you nations are going to do well.
That's why through the Spirit, when they say make America great again, that means make you niggas slaves again, man.
Yeah.
Because Egypt got great off of the slavery of the children of Israel, man. We built that place up, man.
And without Joseph being there interpreting, that dream, Egypt would have been finished, man.
Oh yeah.
They ain't know what to do.
Through.
But that's just through the Spirit how the Most High put it, so he can ultimately preserve his people.
All right, and in Acts 7 and 10, and delivered him out of all his afflictions, and gave him favor and wisdom in the sight of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And he made him governor over Egypt and all his house.
Going back into the 30 years when we were dwelling in peace.
Now there came a dearth over all the land of Egypt and Canaan. Where at this point it was just Joseph was just there. We didn't come till later. The rest of the tribe didn't come till later.
And dearth means famine.
That's what that word means, famine. Now there came a dearth over all the land of Egypt and Canaan, and great affliction. And our fathers found no sustenance. 12. But when Jacob heard that there was corn in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first. The 12 patriarchs, our fathers, man. The children, the tribes of Israel. 13. And the second time Joseph was made known to his brethren, and Joseph's kindred was made known unto Pharaoh. Then sent Joseph and called his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred, 70 souls. So Jacob went down into Egypt and died, he and our fathers, and were carried over into Shechem, the land, and laid in the sepulchre that Abraham bought for a sum of money of the sons of Emar, the father of Shechem. But when the time of the promise drew nigh, when the Most High had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt, till another king arose which knew not Joseph. The same dealt subtly. Is it still here? Yeah, the same dealt subtly with our kindred, and evil entreated our fathers, so that they cast out their young children, to the end they might not live. It was killing the babies, just like they did here, alligator bait and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. Hey, and also the same as Herod did. God. Ain't nothing new under the sun, because Herod was killing what? All the young men that was under two years under. And under. Yeah. Hey, they was doing the same thing with our young men. You know what? I think it explains it, bro.
Let's see here. In which time Moses was born, and was exceeding fair, and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son.
Right, because they was killing the young men, the young children as well, man.
Yeah. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and in deeds.
That's right.
And when he was full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him and avenged him that was oppressed, and smote the Egyptian. For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that the Most High by his hand would deliver them, but they understood not. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove, and would have set them at one again, saying, Sirs, ye are brethren, why do you wrong one to another? But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust him away, saying, Who made thee a ruler and judge over us? Wilt thou kill me as thou didst the Egyptian yesterday? Then fled Moses at this saying, and was a stranger in the land of Midian, where he begat 2 sons.
Yeah, but that you go, that's
okay.
The
that's
point,
it.
Bro.
Okay,
we just going over the history of the accounts of what took place.
Okay.
But hey, as you can see here, the 400 years, right, in the Acts the 7th chapter and Genesis the 15th chapter is clearly speaking on ancient Egypt. Okay, now when you see the 430 years, it's just combining them in one. That's all it's doing. It's combining them in one, saying, look, we were there in Egypt for 430 years. Yeah. But Joseph was just there, and we was there living in a peaceful time. That's it.
We had peace, and then came the affliction. And then when you look at that, even when you look directly at that promise, he said that you was going to get this land, talking about the land of Canaan, man. So that's what it is, man. Yep. That's talking about then. And just to further go into it, a lot of y'all people that believe in this 400-year prophecy, y'all can't believe in the Northern Kingdom being the Latinos and the Native Americans, because the script, it says that they will be in a land that they knew not, that they will serve people. Man, the 10 tribes was already here, man. Among them other islands that they was dwelling in, like Puerto Rico. Wasn't there some people already there?
Yeah, they call it the devils, and them call it Hispaniola. Yeah, they was already there before 1619.
Right, and the Native Americans was already, the so-called Native Americans was already here. So how is that a land they know not? You see, yeah, they served here, but they already knew the lay of the land, which is why they had to get shipped off, because they was doing these little guerrilla warfare tactics and taking these devils out, man, because they knew the lay of the land, man.
And also they got gathered up and shipped off and raped and robbed and all these things, because the curses applied to them as well. Okay, it wasn't just no scot-free type of thing. No, right. The curses applied to them as well.
What does it say? You know it because you had me bring it out the other day.
What you want?
The children of Jerusalem and
Jeremiah 50 and 33.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's a beautiful point, right?
Yeah, Jeremiah 50, 33.
Yeah, and a lot of y'all that 2019, 1619 to 2019 doctrine, Y'all going off, man. Cause that 400 years is not even talking about here in America, spiritual Egypt. It's not.
God. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Yep.
So that's what's going on right now. That's what happened during the transatlantic slave trade, and that's what's still going on to this day, man. We're being oppressed together in America, Babylon the Great, and the other places where we scattered, man.
Yep. And then a lot of them with that false 1619 and 2019, a lot of them was rounded up, I believe, in West Africa. What about all the Jakes that was rounded up before they even went to Africa? Because the first batch of slaves came from Portugal and Spain.
Right.
You know, they grabbed the Israelites under that proverb and byword Moorish banner.
Right.
You know, because they converted to Islam, but those was Israelites, man.
Right, and like I said, a lot of them they only account that because that's when the so-called Negroes came.
Yeah, the bulk of them though.
The bulk of the so-called Negroes came, so they say, you know what, that's it. Yeah. Because a lot of them think that only the Negroes are the children of Israel.
Yeah,
they use scriptures like the scripture that say, "Jacob's face shall not wax pale." That ain't got nothing to do with his skin tone.
Yeah, and then, well, let's throw this into a perspective.
Mm-hmm.
What if 3 of them was brought here from West Africa? Then would that start prophecy? Wouldn't that have to start prophecy then? Y'all gonna say, oh, well, it had to be a bulk of them. It don't say how many had to come up. See, right. That's just a bunch of confusion, man. Look, that's not scriptures, man. You know, that 400-year prophecy is talking about ancient Egypt, period, man.
Right. Trying to apply that to now, it don't fit. And like I said, y'all have to deny the Northern Kingdom because y'all think that anybody light skinned ain't in the mix, or he look too white. So no, it ain't got nothing to do with skin color.
His hair too straight.
Y'all being carnal, man.
Yeah.
Hosea 7:8. Ephraim, he have mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. What do that mean? I thought Jacob don't wax pale. But if you make a pancake or you even cook a tortilla on one side only, what's gonna happen? One side gonna be white, the other side gonna be black as hell.
Yeah, and wax pale is not even talking about the skin color at all.
Right. It ain't got nothing to do with that. What does it say? You got anything else?
Nah, that's the point. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to just get this last one. No, I don't think that's it.
If not, okay. Let me know if you find it. I'm going to say type in doctrine. There's something I want.
Oh, you got another one?
Yeah, just for doctrine, bro. Because that's false doctrine, bro.
Okay, we can get that. You got one.
Because ultimately we hope Yahweh Shemiyah, we hope the Heavenly Father send His Son back. We wanted it to happen in 2018, but it's not of our will.
Right.
So the Heavenly Father. So if we do send Him back in 2019, that's a beautiful thing. But it still don't fit what y'all talking about, man. Because then check this out. What if the Lord have Him come back in 2020, and He don't come in 2019? What you niggas is so much hoping for and waiting for. Are promising for. I'm talking about the guys that's on the 1619 and 2019 doctrine. Y'all gonna fall out because y'all gonna say, oh, the Lord said He was coming back to get us, and yeah, but Lord did promise He's coming back to get us, but He didn't say that. He didn't mention that Acts 7 and Genesis 15 is the 400 years dealing with America. That's just y'all going off of y'all because y'all don't understand.
That's true. All right, which one you want me to get, doctrine?
Yeah, type in doctrine. It should pop up.
Oh, you want to type it in here? But yeah, man, y'all going off, man. That's a lot of them.
Go down.
Seducing doctrines.
See,
doctrines of devils.
I'm trying to think which one. No, it's you don't know. It's Paul. I know Paul said it. Okay. Is that at the bottom? Keep going a little bit further.
Wind of doctrine.
I guess you could use Colossians 2:22.
This one?
Yeah.
Right. Well, what about this one? Sound doctrine, doctrines of devil. I feel like that's what's going on.
Yeah. Get that one.
1 Timothy 4:1. This one. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
Yep. That's what y'all giving heed to, man. Seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, man.
Right.
Because you got a lot of you false prophets out there teaching that 2019 that the Lord's coming back, because that you saying that's dealing with Genesis 15 and Acts 7, man. It's not talking about spiritual Egypt at all, man.
Right. Verse 2, 1 Timothy 4:2 says, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going on with a lot of you. Man, the brother was going back and forth with a dude, and he just can't get it out of his mind that this ain't talking about America, man. Your conscience is seared with a hot iron. And you're speaking lies and hypocrisy, because one minute you say, oh, no man knows the hour, and you agree that the scriptures say no man knows the day or the hour, but then you say 2019.
Yep.
That's too easy for you niggas, man.
Yep.
Y'all wait all the way up until 12 midnight tonight, because it's the 31st, I'm going to live my life right. All 2019.
They wait till 2 minutes. 2 minutes till, you know what I'm saying?
Wait till 30 seconds. Be on the timer. All right, let me get all the times together. Well, in my time zone, 30 more seconds, it'll be 20. All right, Lord, forgive me. All right, let me quit doing whatever I'm doing.
Shit, that's almost close to like a sinner's prayer, man. That's kind of wicked, man.
God, that junk is wicked. Like, I just committed adultery 5 minutes ago. Took my shower. I'm good now. 5 minutes later, all right, I ain't doing that no more. It's too easy for you niggas, man. It'll be too easy. And you know what? The same type of thing happened around Y2K, man. Mm-hmm. Before 2000 hit, everybody believed. There was a lot of people in the truth that believed that the Messiah was going to come back. And everything was going to be good. And, hey, man. A lot of people fell out when it didn't happen.
Yeah, because they was truly unbelievers, man.
God.
Y'all was truly unbelievers, man. Y'all didn't have patience.
Hey, matter of fact, when the scriptures say that a wicked generation seeking for a sign, they shall get none but the sign of Jonah the prophet, right? What happened in Nineveh? He told them they was going to die at a specific time period, and it didn't happen, right? Because they repented. Mm-hmm. But what happened? They still was destroyed later on. So just like you thought it was going to be in the year 2000, you think it's going to be 2019. It's coming, but you ain't going to know when it's coming.
Mm-hmm. And even and make this point, last point, even if the Lord do deliver us in 2019, bro, that 400 years, 1619 and 2019 is still off because it's not in the scriptures. So we can close out 1 Timothy 6:3.
All right, 1 Timothy 6 and 3. If a man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words.
So if y'all teaching otherwise, what y'all are doing, being false prophets, teaching 1619 to 2019, y'all saying that this 400 years, which we served in bondage over the Egyptians, is not the ancient Egypt, but the modern day Egypt, America. Y'all not consenting to the wholesome words, man.
If any man teach otherwise and consent not to the wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness, he is proud.
He's a proud,
knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words. Let me get that word doting here while I'm never finishing. Whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, and evil surmisings. Keep reading.
Yep.
Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds.
Man.
And destitute, meaning like empty, ain't nothing there. Destitute of the truth.
Right, and you're destitute of the truth. You're destitute of not knowing that the 400 years that we dealt, we were in captivity was under the Egyptians.
And destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. And that word doting, when you go to the old time word, it says Middle English in the sense. Again, I just show it on the screen. To act or talk foolishly.
You might gotta make the screen a little bigger.
Oh, it's gonna show on.
Okay.
I can zoom in though.
I'm sorry, bro. But you know how to work the computer better than me.
In the sense, act or talk foolishly, of uncertain origin, related to the Middle Dutch doten, be silly. You being silly, man. over small, what does it say? About questions. So talking foolishly about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, and evil surmisings, man. And that's what y'all going through, man. That's what y'all doing, man. Y'all really being sottish, and which means stupid or foolish,
Hey, so yeah, that's the point, man. Hey, the 400 years is speaking about ancient Egypt, man.
God.
Okay, the 30 years we lived in peace. All right, in the 400 years we got dealt with harshly under the new Pharaoh, which knew not Joseph.
Man, you know what just popped in my mind, Slaki, then we could close out. And it said they was gonna come back to this land and serve me, man. So, I mean, that's gonna happen in the end times. So that is gonna happen. But like the brother said, and like we showed you through the scriptures, it's not talking about that. Because in the same breath, he was saying, "I'm gonna give you this land." That was the land of Canaan, man. And after we left Egypt, we took the land and we went to serve our power, man. Then we went off, and the story from there. That's it.
That's it. All right, so we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakakadash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Salutations to you, brothers, to the four corners of the earth, preaching this word and laboring this word in true love and sincerity. And also, shalom to you, sincere listeners.
Shalom.
Shalom.